We'll try. Share on a page you manage. Yes, that's what we want.
Are we live already?
Working on it, yes.
Maybe I should let my hair down too.
All right. All right, I think we are live. I'm not positive, but we will work with it. So good evening, everyone. We are the Gratitude Girls.
Good evening. Rara is in the house and the Gratitude Girls are in the house. My name is Catherine Asaro Myers and I'm speaking to you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And Laurie, I did just get a message that we are on Facebook Live.
Yay! So maybe I did it right.
You absolutely did it right. That's amazing. There's always something new to learn. And today we're doing something new. So this is our first Facebook Live Gratitude Girls show. So if this is the first time you're catching us, then you're experiencing one of our moments in history today. We're really excited for that. There's lots of new things to do. So Laurie, what inspired you to do this?
Yeah, so, well, we got the message that Gratitude Hangouts, Google Hangouts were ending. So we had to figure out how to do it on Zoom. And then we also wanted to still be able to post live for everybody at the same time, like we've done for 6.5 years. So so we had to figure these things out. And so we kind of figured it out on the fly.
And we're so good at doing that. You know, it's amazing. I'm so happy that we are challenging and taking on new things as if it's nothing. Now, just a few weeks ago, we were together. Yay, we were together. And I'm so excited for that. I'd like to talk a little bit about that. I have an itchy nose tonight. I'd like to talk a little bit about that with our audience. So before we get into our story, we were in Salt Lake City, Utah, so we had a chance to hang out. That was really fun. And it was necessary. We need to be heart to heart. You know, people like face to face, but we need to be heart to heart. And that really makes a big difference to us and charges our energy. How was that trip for you?
Yes, it was awesome. It was incredible. Of course, seeing you, seeing all of our other friends and getting to exactly recharge, relax. You know, we did tons and tons of training and took tons of notes, but we also relaxed and energized and hung out.
Yes, we also did something new this year. This was the first time since 2009 that I decided, and I think it was probably the first time for you too, I decided to do an Airbnb house with some of my teammates. So that was also, this is just the time for us to try new things. How did that work out for you? How was your Airbnb?
Yeah, it was great. It was a cute place. We were right on the mall, so, you know, that didn't hurt anything, right? So, yeah, and it was great. It was a great little getaway, you know, when we're, you know, all with all the crowds, and that's wonderful time. I'm a total social butterfly, but I also like to retreat and relax, and we had a really nice place with a fireplace and a balcony overlooking the city, and yeah, it was wonderful.
Well, that's nice. We tried a place in what's called the Marmalade District. So we were like not far from Capitol Hill. we walked once to the palace. We Ubered it the rest of the time, and we had this amazing Tesla that picked us up. You know, the one with the doors, 4x4, where the doors went up. I have to show you pictures of that. So we were really treated nicely. This house was ultra modern. It was a smart house. So when I woke up in the morning and I pushed the button that said good morning, all the electric blinds went up everywhere in the house. And at night, when I pushed the button that said good night, it closed the lights in all the window treatments. It was really, really amazing. We had some great ideas. I'll just share this with you real quick. While we were three of us, three girls in the house, and then two other teammates, Josh and Yaman, came, and they had another place of their own. So they came, we were hanging out, Carolyn, myself, and Josh and Yaman. We said, what would it be like if we had 10 people and we had a bigger place that slept 10? So we went looking online because we weren't sure if you would be in Salt Lake City or not. So we found like a castle. We found these amazing, gorgeous houses. And then we found out later on that we were not going to be in Salt Lake City. But we have the idea that we are going to take 10 different people and we're going to put that together. And we're going to, excuse me, I'm going to sneeze, I guess. Excuse me. So we're going to put all those people together and we're going to create a real organization. So we'll have someone who does the driving wherever we're going to be in case we rent a car, someone who does the cooking, someone who's really good on the internet. So that way we can post to the team page, someone who's, I'll do some training every day. I'll train the group. We're all going to bring something to the table. And we're looking for a hairdresser to join our team. We're looking for a chef to sign up with us. One of our team members wants to understand the life path of everyone so that she can, tap into that. And one of the team members wants to do a credit check on everyone. So we are a tough group, let me tell you. And one of them wants to know the music. And I have some very strict rules myself. I won't tell you, but we're going to create an intake form, and we're actually taking applications for affiliates to join us or new people to join us. If they're not affiliates, they'll have to be in order to hop on that. So we have a whole business thing going on, and we think 10 people are it. So you let me know if you want to get in on this or you want to have your own deal. We don't know where we're going. Maybe we can do two houses next to each other and we can have two groups. But yeah, we have some brilliant ideas. We really brainstormed. So let's tell our audience a little bit about what are we talking about? Why are we here? Why are we the Gratitude Girls? And why are we on this show tonight, Laurie?
So Catherine and I are both in a direct sales company called Send Out Cards. And in that company, every year there is a theme for our international convention, right? And so, and every year there's one person that wins that award for that theme for that year at the convention. And so back in 2013, our theme was gratitude. And so that year, our CEO got up on stage and he tells all about all the cool accolades about the person who's going to win the award. And then he calls them. And so he tries to be secretive and just tells all these great things about them. And then poof, announces them. And so that was Catherine. So she goes up on stage. I'm out in the audience. I'm taking pictures. I'm taking video. And because I love to do those kinds of things because I'm the technical one. And then they announced that year, for the first time in the history of the company, and I'm pretty sure the only time that it's been since then, they announced like a tie. And so he ended up calling my name. So Catherine and I actually met on stage in Salt Lake City at our company international convention. And it was just kind of like one of those, like some people are dating and they say love at first sight. It was kind of like that, but it was like best friends, business partners, everything, love at first sight type thing. And literally like within like 2 to 3 minutes, Gratitude Girls was born.
Laurie, it was such a wonderful moment for me. First of all, to be so surprised and to be called up on stage. I say this every time. My knees were shaking. I didn't know how I was going to get from the row I was standing in up to the stage. And I had thought about that. I envisioned this. It was part of my I am statements. So when it happened, it was, I had envisioned that. And when your name was called, I had thought about how will I meet this wonderful woman? You had won so many awards and you had been recognized for so many things. And the one thing that stood out in my mind is how you won recognition, received recognition for sending the most gifts of anyone in our company. And I thought, what would it be like to be the recipient of what you were doing, sending gifts? And what kind of person were you that you would send the most gifts in our entire company? When your name was called, I thought, I wanted to meet you. Oh my gosh, I'm going to meet you on stage. I couldn't believe that we would meet each other right then and there. And it was this immediate charge. And we knew. We touched hands, we walked down the steps together, we hung out together, we were in the VIP section, and it was literally minutes. We knew we were not stopping, that this was going to continue. We were going to keep that Gratitude Girls moment, and we were going to give it away. So keep that feeling and give it away to someone else to be able to share their gratitude. So if you're watching the show for the first time, you are watching a dream that came true on stage with the two of us. We probably had planted that seed in our own minds earlier about us. And then when we came together and we became friends instantly, it blossomed. So we knew that we wanted to share a platform for other people like yourself to watch, to listen, to hear our guests, to hear how some of the people in the audience become our guests on the show because they're just intrigued by that. So we're really looking forward to sharing tonight's show with you and to introducing our guests to you, because Laurie and I have big, big plans. Stay tuned for what we're doing. I'm in Canada. Laurie's in the United States. That means nothing. We are right next to each other. You know, the way life is today in technology, we're a second away from each other. We're a nanosecond away from each other. And when you have a best friend who lives abroad, if you have a best friend who lives abroad, you know that nothing gets in the way. You make sure you connect. And Laurie, I want to thank you and tell you how grateful I am for your friendship and your dedication to me and to us, and to always making sure that you check in with me no matter what. And we can just shoot each other a message and take each other by surprise, but we're right there. We hold space for each other. We're like, oh, you're doing that? I didn't know that. Okay. So, and I love it because we get together and we stay together. So when you come on this show, expect to feel that togetherness, and you'll feel what Laurie and I have and how we want to share that. So Laurie, thank you for that. It's amazing to be here with you after all these years. And it does feel like yesterday though, right?
It does. Yeah. I was just actually at dinner before the show, and I was telling our story, and it was funny because I was like, wow, it's almost been 7 years. Like already, it's like almost 7 years. That's incredible. Like it just seems like we just started it not long ago. And yeah, and literally it's over 6 years, going on 7 years already. It's over halfway.
Lucky seven. Lucky
Yep.
seven. Yes, well, that gives me some ideas. You know, we should talk about that offline. After the show tonight, we do a training, so you can find where we put that. We'll let you know where we put our training. It'll be on our website. So if you want to peruse our website after the show tonight, go ahead and take a look at some of the wonderful people that we've had on and some of the trainings that we've touched. But some of the trainings that we've talked about and the subject we've touched on. But tonight is about our guest. We have a really special guest here this evening, and Jacinta Yang is a friend of ours, and she will be a friend of yours after tonight. If you know Jacinta already, then I'm sure you're sitting on the edge of your seat waiting to hear what she says. And if you don't, let me just share one or two things with you about Jacinta. She's very special. Jacinta is a very strong woman. She has endured things that have given her the reason, have given her the strength to soldier ahead and create who she is today. In some of Jacinta's words, she has suffered to get to where she is today, but that suffering has brought her to a point where she can spot pain in others and help them to relieve it and to remove it. Jacinta is a natural healer, and numerous doors have opened for Jacinta because of what she has gone through. Jacinta's wealth of knowledge became her newfound passion, And she's made it her mission in life to educate her clients, if you're lucky enough to be one of her clients, on how much not to depend on drugs and medication. Jacinta helps her clients take back their personal power as they become healthier, stronger, and more confident. Welcome to the show, Jacinta. How are you?
Thank you so much, Catherine and Laurie. I truly, truly appreciate you having me tonight. I'm really touched. I'm honored. It was really nice meeting you at the WOW. I was very impressed when I heard your story, and I guess I kind of related with you, and not realizing here I'm relaying my story to you, and then next thing you know, you asking me, because I was relaying about my gratitude in my life of what life challenges brought to me, and how it has changed me to be more compassionate and be able to help people in their lives. I'm currently living in Keswick. I've been living in Toronto for past 20 years, actually, more than 20 years. And I've been primarily a floral designer for 35 years. However, during my health struggle, I had no choice but to seek alternative therapy. And through that, I also realized that I had a gift that I didn't know I had.
Mm.
And so I worked on myself, and I did experiment on energy healing with the flowers, because I work with flowers and I believe flowers can has energy. So through my experiment, because I was very logical and I needed to prove to myself that this is something real and was not just an imagination, and I could literally feel the energy emanating from my hand when I thought of healing or whatever. So through my experiments, I guess I was not satisfied with one experiment, so I went on to two, and then three, and then when the third experiment finally made me realize that I should not question what is out there, and I should just trust in the universe that has this beautiful healing energy available to us. So I decided to read about it, study about it, and took a course and became a certified Reiki practitioner. And I then decided to become a reflexologist. I guess at a very young age, somehow I intuitively knew a certain pressure point or reflexes in the feet could help. So I always worked on my siblings when they were not feeling well. But it was to me at that time was just something to do. I didn't really think about it, but when I took my Reiki course, and I thought, okay, I'd like to add more modality to my practice, and it occurred to me that I knew intuitively something with reflexology, so I took a course in reflexology.
Jacinta, let's talk about that for a second. Let's talk about, thank you. I have a few questions for you. There must have been a moment in time that you realized you had some intuition, some special, I'll call it a talent, some special gift. When was the first time that you recognized that? And then I have another question to ask you after that.
Okay, the intuitive gifts, actually, I knew when I was a child, because I would get prophetic dreams, but you don't really take those things seriously at that age, and you shrug all your experiences with your intuition, your senses off, because I'm very logical, so I tend to think logically. But there comes a time when no matter how much logic want to explain things away, you can't. So I had to finally embrace the fact that there is something outside of logic that I cannot explain.
Okay, and how old were you about? Sorry, what was your age approximately?
When I first had my prophetic dreams, I would say about 7.
Okay, so at 7 years old, you started to recognize that there was something that you should pay attention to, right?
Well, I would have dreamed, but didn't really consider too much about it because I was just still too young.
Right. Okay, and then you talked a little bit about after that. So let's go to the next phase in life. If we can just give people an idea if they have a child or a cousin or someone and they can recognize some of these signs. Let's give some pivotal points and ideas. So at 7, did you tell anyone about your dreams?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
My parents.
Did they listen and did they believe you?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
I mean,
awesome. So
they never discouraged me or said it was my imagination. They just heard it, and then we'll see it materialize.
okay, so that's support that someone can give to their child if their child is telling them something, or a friend's child.
I think the only time I would say was when I was about 15. I had a dream, and it scared me because when you see in your dream that someone in your family or loved one is being hurt, then for me that was scary because I didn't want any of my family member to be hurt. So I was in tears. So that's the only time I guess my mom would say it was only a dream. But otherwise, when I relayed my dream, they didn't say that it's just a dream or anything like that, as far as I can remember.
Okay, so you were 15. So first you were 7, then you were 15. And what would be the next time in your life that you could say you remember something specific so that our audience could, again, recognize it in one of their loved ones?
I would, in my 20s, I would say mid to late 20s, when I was in a car with a friend. We were driving and my heart just jumped, and I saw like a vision that a plane exploded in the air, and I go, oh my God, but of course I had no idea what actually it was, reality or it was just a vision. And then my friend that was with me in the car, he showed me the next day, because I always watch at the time on my watch whenever I have unusual experiences, when I would feel a pump or jump. And so he showed me in the newspaper the next day that Korean airline had exploded in the air.
Okay,
so
you were 20, late 20s, you said?
Yeah, I was in my late 20s. And then I would say in my 15, no, I was in college, so about 17 or 18 years of age. I was doing my homework and I felt my brother had an accident, but I was too scared to even share with anybody. I just sat there waiting for my brother to show up to come home. So I waited 3 hours, and when he showed up with the Band-Aid on his forehead, and I asked what happened, and he had mentioned that he had an accident, and that happened at the same time when I had this,
Premonition.
Yeah, it's hard to explain the feeling. Right. You just feel something happened, and then you get this in your thought, that's what happened. So you just get this feeling, okay, there was an accident.
Mm-hmm. So Jacinta, thank you so much. Let me take a step in a different direction for a moment to honor how we met and where we met. I want to make sure that I bring those people into the room energetically. So we met at a group, you mentioned it, WOW. Yeah. That's the name of the group.
Wow. And you were WOW.
Well, we all are. Thank you. Thank you so much. Women of Wisdom. And this group is owned by Carolyn Terracini and Iveta Cochina. oh gosh, did I say her name right? Iveta. I'll need a lesson on that. I'm sure I didn't say it right. So what I want to say is these women put this group together, and I know them for a very long time. And that's how Jacinta and I met. We met in that room because people wonder sometimes, you know, how do you meet someone? How long do you know each other and what happened? So we had this instant connection that we don't have to go back and talk about it, but I wanted to put that into context. We'll talk about it offline or if anybody has any questions about it. So that's how Jacinta and I met. And so this is how it came, our guest appearance, Jacinta's appearance came to fruition. It was from that meeting, that instant meeting. And we planned this for months. Oh my gosh, we've been waiting for this time slot to become available. So Jacinta, was it 5 months or something? 4 months?
May, I think, was it?
May, June, July, August. Okay, 4 months. Right. So we're really waiting for this show to happen. And I'm sure since the time that we discussed you coming on the show to now, life has changed. I'd like to, right? I'm sure it has.
Definitely.
Which is great, right? We have some news to give our audience.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about, I have 3 questions for you, and then I'm going to see if Laurie would like to, I know Laurie would like to ask you a question. So question number 1 is, currently, what do you call the practice of what you do?
Call it the alternative holistic practice.
Okay, thank you.
Alternative healing.
Thank you.
In what I do is Reiki, reflexology, crystal healing, and now I'm certified past life regression therapist.
Thank you. And when you're talking to someone and you're having a conversation with them and you're out and about, or you're shopping, or you're taking a walk, do you walk? So I have 3 questions, right? This is the second of the third. When you're walking, do you happen to get feelings like you're walking past someone and something happens, or you want to tell them, you feel compelled to share a story with them? Do you get those kinds of feelings?
Oh, yes.
What do you do about it?
At first, I struggled with it because you never know how anybody is going to react to it. Then, especially because I'm an empath, I can feel people's feeling. So it makes it hard. And then at the same time, you cannot just share without actually asking for their permission to share. So it's not exactly very easy. I'll give you an example. This is going back way before I decided to take my healing practice more into full-time. I was doing part-time. I was at chapters reading and at a table, and people came and left, and then suddenly a lady sitting in front of me, and I start feeling a hard discomfort, and I'm going, oh my God, like I knew it was not mine because I didn't feel it all through the other different people that sat across me. It only started when this lady sat beside me, and I guess at that time you can say I still wasn't quite comfortable even to myself to admit that I have a gift. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, I can feel this, something with her heart, but how do I approach her? How do I bring it up? So it was tough. So I sat there, and I think half an hour go by, and as I refused to actually bring it up, the more my heart started to palpitate, and I could feel in my gut that I have to. So she knows that maybe she should go check with the doctor if everything is okay. But I was thinking, oh my God, like I don't know this woman. If I say anything, she'll think I'm crazy, all that. So this whole thing went in my head, and the more I refused to actually share what I was picking up, the symptoms got more difficult for me to bear. So, and now she was just ready to leave, and I said, oh my God, if I don't share it, I'm going to be stuck with this. And I could feel like a push that I have to say something. So at the very last minute, as she stood up, and I just had to stop her. I said, "Excuse me, I'm so sorry." I said, "I don't know how to share it, but I sense things, and I hope you don't mind that I was feeling this, and I I don't know how to share it, but could you please um, check in with your doctor to, like have a physical to make sure everything is okay." So she was actually quite nice about it. She said, "You know what, thank you so much." She said, I I know of people like you, like a gift with your kind of gift, so I'm okay. Meaning she didn't mind me
Right.
uh, sharing. So that was okay. So, but different times I just have to figure out how. And when I can't, so now I will just talk to my spirit guide. I say, "Okay, you know what? I can't do this. You got to help me to
Right.
create this."
You ask for help.
Yes.
Okay, so I said I had 3 questions. So because I want to keep my eye on the time, let's assume that when I said, how do you do it, that's 3. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I want to give Laurie a chance to ask you a question. And then Jacinta, after that, I'm going to do something a little bit different. So Laurie, please go right ahead and let's see what Jacinta can share with you.
Okay, yeah. So I have 2. So one, I would love to hear, so like I've read your bio, and then talking to you so far, I know you've just got like so much gratitude in your life. It's incredible. But I would love to hear just one story that's touched your heart of, what you're grateful and thankful for, something like that. Could be personal, could be professional, anything like that. And then another thing that kind of interested me, you probably saw before the show, and most people that have watched my shows know that, I have animals all around me. So you said something about your crystals and helping to energize the water that's going to help the dog. And so I was interested in that because I have 4 dogs and a cat.
Oh.
And so that just kind of perked my interest when you said something about that. So I wondered if you could share just really quickly a little bit about that too.
Okay, so as you already know, I am actually literally grateful for every single thing in my life. I'm talking about everything from challenges to every gift. Everything that in my life is a gift. It does not matter whether it's positive or negative, but it all, I know how to turn it into positive and make it into a gift for me. And it has taught me to be who I am today. I think the thing that I'm most grateful for is that since I have now decided to do the healing work and the effects and the lives that I have touched through the healing, it's not just physical ailments, but it's a lot of it is also the emotional, and to actually literally watch life being transformed and to know that you are a part of that transformation. To me, that's a miracle. And I've gone through a situation where I did a healing, which I would say was definitely, in my eyes, was a miracle. And I've been so grateful for that ever since, that I actually, because I pray during my healing sessions. So Mother Mary is my help most of the time. So I actually went to Portugal this year, to a place in Portugal called Fatima, because Mother Mary appeared on the 3 children, one of which was Jacinta. Someone had told me that my energy was linked to her and that she was going to help me in my healing work. And I took him very seriously. And ever since, I have always prayed to her for help. And I find that she always helped me. And I believe all these lives that is being touched by that is through grace of God and her help. And as for the dog, the crystal healing, I started, I just accidentally got into the crystal last fall, and like things happens around me, you know, my car would start on its own, or stereo starts on its own to just get my messages, get my attention. So I think the crystal was trying to get my attention about 6-7 years ago. I didn't pay attention. Life was too busy. But I was working at home and I was listening to my hymns on YouTube, and it, you know, it streamed one after the other. And then out of the blue, there was this thing on crystal. And I was thinking, what happened? Like, this is not supposed to be, like, there was not supposed to be any talking. There's supposed to be music. So I got to my laptop and I saw, oh, it's talking about crystal. And for some reason, it just drew me to it. And next thing you know, I was like researching everything about crystals. It was just like talking to me. And then I started working on healing myself with a crystal. I've been on weekly treatments, getting 26 shots for nerve blocker for the chronic pain that I suffered in order to get me functioning. And I was on a lot of different medication, plus treatment to shrink endometrioma that I have in my uterus that had caused me a kidney obstruction. So I was on treatment to keep that shrunk. So as I started to work on the crystal on myself, I noticed a difference in how I was feeling. So I decided to stop the treatment that I was getting weekly. And I started researching of best schools to get the crystal healing course from. And being a logical person, of course, I like to have the logic and science behind it. So I chose a school that had that background, and I've been working on that. And then during my course, we had an assignment to work on pets or animals, doing crystal healing. And I don't have pets. I know of a client who have a dog who's super, super hyper. And so I thought of her, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll ask her if she will allow me to work on her pet. But I knew that because he was too hyper, I could not use a pendulum to check his chakra. So I had to decide to do a crystal grid, healing grid. Plus, I had given her instruction how to prepare the gem elixir, the crystal charged water for him to drink, as well as to also spray and massage his fur. And the change in that dog is so much so that it's unbelievable. I mean, it was exciting for me, it was exciting for her. She brought the dog to her groomer and she told the groomer, you know, this dog has been getting crystal healing. She thought, oh, this woman's gone nuts. But of course, she hadn't told her that. So, but when she came back to pick up the dog, she said, whatever crystal you're using is super powerful. But next time, could you just tone it down a little bit because he was just too relaxed. So that was a nice, I think it was very nice to know that it actually worked on animal really well. And recently, another friend of mine who has a dog has a tumor, and I explained to her that I've been using the crystal charged water for myself, and I have stopped all my treatments. And I said, I would love to try to help your dog with that. And so she said, he's hyper. I said, as compared to my other client's dog, he's not hyper, but she feels that he's hyper. So I prepared different, one is to keep him calm and one is to help shrink the tumor. So it has been going down. So it's really exciting for me to actually witness that. So
Jacinta,
I can.
This is amazing. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I wanted to say that from this, I have questions, but I believe we need to look at the time because we want to do something. I want to do something a little different tonight that we did not discuss. So please keep those thoughts for the guests and our audience who want to know more about animals, because we have a lot of animal lovers. And Laurie, I'm sure we want to hear more about that charged water. So Jacinta, there's two things I want to do. I have to keep my eye on the time, but we're gonna do it. So one is I'd like to turn the show over to you for a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and ask you if you have any questions for Laurie and I. By all means, ask us. And at the same, and then I'll give you the next part after that. Okay, so I'll let you have the show and just tell us who you're going to ask the question to, so we know who to answer, who should answer first.
Okay, I'd like to ask you, Catherine, first, if I may.
Yes. Technology froze you a little bit.
I was actually quite touched when you asked me. I was quite touched when you asked me to be your guest. So I guess my question is, what prompted?
You cut out earlier, but
Can you hear me?
Yes. Your question is what prompted me to ask you to be our guest? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Certainly. Jacinta, when we met, we felt something very special. And I believe that you had a lot to share.
Oh, thank
you. And tonight is proof of that. You do have a lot to share. And I felt that this would be a safe place for you to come. We would offer that to you, where you could talk about not only something that happened today or yesterday, but as you have things that happened in the past. And you would be able to shed light on some of our audience who might in fact be feeling what you're feeling. There might be someone who doesn't know, they're afraid, they're not certain what's going on with them. And I believed that you would be able to open the door for others who were not sure what they were feeling, and they could relate to you, and you would have a place to speak to us and to others that you don't know. Thank you for asking that question.
Thank you. Now I'd like to address to Laurie.
Yes.
Hi, Laurie.
How are you?
Thank you for including me in this show. This is all new to me. I've not been live anywhere. So, but if you have any questions or any help that you like that I could try with your pets, I'm happy to. So if you can think of anything that you feel that your animals, the dogs, your pet, your babies have that they need some attention to, then I will certainly try to do my research as to pinpoint what they require to help them if I can. I can't promise, but I can only try.
Awesome. Yes. Yes, always. I could load you up with questions.
Amazing. Okay, Laurie, you're going to ask those questions now, or you're going to ask those questions offline?
You know, this is also a learning experience.
Yeah, probably later.
Hello?
Yeah, we'll go over them later.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you, Jacinta. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. We're running a little bit over time, but I'd like to take the opportunity to do this. So, Laurie, I didn't ask you this before, but let me ask you now. Let's give Jacinta permission to give Gratitude Girls a comment, a statement, anything she's feeling. I would like to open that up live for her to do that if she feels something. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Jacinta, I needed to ask permission. And if you don't feel comfortable, Laurie, you know, say no. But what I was thinking is I want to give you permission to feel what you feel. And if you wish to say something to us, please, by all means, do. I thought you might not feel comfortable if you felt something, as you told the stories earlier. So I want you to feel comfortable. And if you'd like to do that live, go right
Sure.
ahead. And if you're not comfortable doing it live, we'll end the show and we can talk after. So I'll leave it up to you before we close the
I
show.
think at some point, if I want to try to extend my help out, I need to get out of my comfort zone and share what I can share with anyone that would like what I have to share. And I am so grateful to you, Catherine, for giving me this opportunity to be able to share my story. And not only share my story, and giving me the opportunity to be of service to others if I can. As I said, this is my first time going live, so this is very new to me. I'm kind of shy, even though I may not be at times, but I'm grateful to you for giving this opportunity to overcome this, I don't even know, I don't have the word to actually express what I'm trying to say. I guess basically I would say that I'm grateful for the opportunity that you're giving me to overcome this struggle I have coming on life. So, and I think after this, I will get a little bit more braver.
Great. So we have just put a bridge in front of you and you've just crossed right over the bridge. And I'm thrilled that we can do that for you. I truly wanted you to feel comfortable and open up and say whatever you're feeling. So we're here for you for that. And I thank you so, so much for being a guest on our show tonight. We have posted ways for people to be in contact with you, but if you would like to give your best method of communication, if any of our guests want to reach you personally and directly and they're not, and they want to hear it right now, what's the best way for them to reach you?
I would say my cell phone number, which is 416-805-5911. I think text messaging is probably one of the easiest way, because I'm not very good in checking email constantly. So,
Okay, absolutely. Yes,
yeah.
we will make sure that your phone number is out there. And Laurie, we have all of the other contacts for Jacinta on our posting for her, correct?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So Jacinta, again, thank you so much for being a guest on our show tonight. Thank you for crossing the bridge.
Thank you for having me.
It's amazing what you're saying, what I'm thinking while you're talking, how we could go on and really explore new things. So let's not let it end here. Let's follow up. I will see you the next time that you and I can get together. If it's not at WOW, we'll make sure. You asked me a question not too long ago. I haven't gotten back to you on that.
We have to do our dancing card, right?
That's right. We'll do our dance card. So maybe we can consider this a dance card and we'll put this on the WOW group. So we'll do a really interesting, the first dance card ever will be on Zoom, on Facebook Live. So we'll let everybody know about that and we'll get together again. So I want to thank you so much. And Laurie, for our guests that are watching and our audience tonight, what if they're saying, I want to be Jacinta, I want to do what she's doing? How do they get on the show here with us?
Yeah, absolutely. So go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/gratitudegirls. Hit message right on that page. Send us a message. Send us your gratitude story. That goes to Catherine and I both together. And so we read that, review it, and then get in touch with you. Make sure you leave your contact information. So we can get in contact with you to let you know when our next open availability is, and we will get in touch with you to see when we can show host you on our show as well. And just remember, we always do this every single month, the fourth Tuesday night of every single month, and it's always 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, and 6:30 Pacific.
Thank you so much. Stay tuned. Next month, we are going to wow you with some geography. That's all I'm going to say. And Laurie, from my heart to yours, thank you to our audience. We love you, and stay tuned for what's coming next, and catch us for our training. That's what's coming up in the next 10 minutes. Jacinta, hang out with us for a few minutes while we go offline.
Sure.
Okay, great. Thank you to our audience. Ciao.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.